I hope you're having a great day. I hope you had a great weekend. Well, today I want to talk about the importance of reading ingredient labels, not just on the food products that you buy, but your toothpaste, your floor detergents, the cosmetics, your creams, your nail polish, and all of these things. The intention for today's video is not to create fear amongst people who are possibly using some of the products that we're talking about today. It is not to induce fear, but to increase awareness about how and why certain conditions that we're going through today is only increasing. Look around us, look at the amount of disease that we have, look at the amount of breast cancers, testicular cancers, kidney, liver, prostrate. Look at the amount of infertility going up. Look at the amount of fetal deaths going up. Look at the amount of asthma cases and hormonal disorders, whether it's PCOD, whether it's endometriosis, ovarian issues, reproductive issues. We need to step back and wonder, why is this getting more and more? Why is it increasing? When we have access to good nutrition, we have access to gyms and trainers and nutritionists, we have the best doctors, we have hospitals. Why is it increasing? Okay, it's easy to blame it on lifestyle and all of these things, but there is one bitter, ugly truth that we need to understand. Most of these things are also caused by the amount of products that we consume. Now, I'm not here to say that the products that I'm mentioning today is the cause of your cancer, but with a little bit of vitamin C, which is common sense, we'll understand how it's contributing to us in small amounts from the time we're born right up to the time we age. And in many of us, this leads to some of the diseases that we have. Anything that you buy, you want to flip it over and start learning how to read ingredients. Over the next couple of videos, I'm going to teach you how to read these labels. Today, I'm asking you to look out for one word called triclosan. That's Triclosan. Triclosan is an antibacterial element that is added into a lot of the products that you use. Now, what we need to understand, you can go further into the research and find out how the FDA banned it a couple of years. They banned it in most products like your creams and cosmetics and body washes, but they didn't ban it in your toothpaste, which is still getting into your system. What we're trying to understand right now is you have a little bit of homework to do today. When you go home, you want to look at your body washes, you want to look at your soaps, you want to look at your creams, you want to look at your perfumes, your detergents, your toothpaste, your floor cleaners, your hand sanitizers, your mouth sanitizers, things like your mouth washes and all of these things. And if it has that one word triclosan on, you want to dump that product right away. And I'm going to explain to you exactly why. Triclosan is a hormone disruptor. We're living in a world today where most of our conditions are caused because of hormone disruption. Let me explain what that means. You see, we have an endocrine system. The endocrine system regulates your hormones and releases your hormones. It releases a hormone, and your hormone signals between trillions of cells in the human body. So any function that's happening in your body right now happens with communication and signaling between your cells conducted by something called hormones. So whether it's the birth of a child, whether it's the growth of your bones, your musculoskeletal system, your hair, your skin, losing weight, gaining weight, all of these things are conducted by the regulation of your hormones. Now, what I want to do is explain to you a simple computer program. You have a computer program that is running a particular program, let's say for an aircraft. Okay, for an airplane, there is a computer program running all the functions of that airplane. Now, if someone uploads a virus in that computer program, the computer program starts doing different things, which means the plane can actually crash. Some other functions can start happening because the virus in this program has disrupted the normal functioning of this computer program. Now, you take all of these xenoestrogens or all of these hormone disruptors and imagine that when these hormone disruptors enter the human body, they disrupt the signaling and communication between your cells by either binding with your hormone receptors or blocking your hormone receptors, which means now you have the wrong signaling happening in your body. That's when women find their endometrial wall linings growing thicker, or they'll find cysts and fibroids in their ovaries and their breasts, or you'll find an ER positive cancer or a tumor growing in your breast, it's called ER positive because it means you have estrogen dominance in your body. So what happens is all this excess estrogen stores in your cells as fat. So women who exercise, they work out, including men, but they find that they can't get rid of the stubborn belly fat no matter what they do. Think estrogen dominance. You have PCOD, you have hormonal issues, think hormonal disruption. Now something like triclosan has the ability, and today it's not just this, science has proven it. Science has proven that triclosan has every connection to do with an ER positive cancer, testicular cancer, prostrate cancer, fertility, fetal death, everything I spoke about, because you are disrupting the basic signaling, which means your body doesn't have the intelligence and ability to do what it is supposed to do in the right and intelligent way, because it is disrupted by these so-called xenoestrogens that are entering our body from the food that we eat, the air that we breathe, the more cream that we slap onto our faces. For men, shower gels, shaving creams. Let me read out a couple of things where you can find triclosan in. Toothpaste, body wash, antibacterial sanitizers. Please understand, by trying to be cleaner, you're not adding any health to your system. Every time you use an antibacterial sanitizer that has triclosan in, you are lowering your immune system, you are disrupting your hormones, and if you're doing it for your kids, you are further lowering their immune system and messing up their gut health. Because triclosan in the body messes up with your microbiome, which is the bacteria in your gut. It is also known to cause inflammation in your gut. And what is one problem 1 in 2 to 3 people have in our country today? We have gut problems. Because unconsciously, smart marketing of all these fancy products which are well packaged, and whenever you see a fancy product or a product that needs a lot of marketing and a lot of fanciness around it, they are trying to hide something. They are trying to divert your attention from what they're trying to hide. Like, you'll never see an ad for an apple. You'll never see an ad for an orange, because it's pretty simple, common sense. These are healthy fruits, and you can't really, everyone knows about that. But you see any cosmetic, any lipstick, any cream, any shower gel with all the fancy marketing, flip it over and read through that big list of very finely written ingredients, and you'll find a list of chemicals. And then pause back. Vanity is one thing, common sense is another. Step back and think, why am I putting so many chemicals in my body? What is it doing? Just because this is a brand and just because it's everywhere on the streets of New York and London and Mumbai and everywhere else, it doesn't mean it has to be a safe product. I can't tell you the amount of men and women who are putting more estrogen, xenoestrogen in their body by foolishly using products that have triclosan and other chemicals in. Now, your next question would be but I need these products. Yes, there are companies that are also doing products minus parabens, minus sulfates, minus triclosan, and all of these things. So it's not like you're in a situation where you don't have something that doesn't have these chemicals. You just got to choose. So if you're brand conscious and brand blinded, and you're just living because everyone is so brand, basically so brand conscious and addicted to it, you're just spoiling your health over time. Because what's going to happen is this builds up in your system over time. And a lot of people who have hormonal disruption, sometimes only removing the products that have triclosan in and other chemicals that disrupt the hormones, they start getting better. So if you're trying to heal a cancer, but you're not looking at the root cause, which is multifactorial of what could be causing it, we never heal. You're trying to heal diabetes, you're trying to heal your PCOD. You should know that most birth control pills also have xenoestrogens in. Let me continue that list. Face washes, deos, the dishwasher liquid that you use at home, shaving gels, even clothes and socks, which is why you want to go back to organic, pure cotton, simple clothing that doesn't have all these chemicals in, because all these antimicrobial socks and antimicrobial hand gloves and antimicrobial clothing is only making you sicker and sicker. Then you have cigarette smoke, you have automobile smoke, you have pollution, you have triclosan and xenoestrogens found in water samples, milk, because we know that most of the cows are being pumped with estrogen to grow the cow faster, to produce more milk. That estrogen is getting into the milk, getting into your young children. Young children are reaching puberty way before they're supposed to reach puberty. because there's hormone disruption accelerating everything. Women who would get menopause safely between 50 and 55 are now getting it at 42, 43, and 44. What is our body trying to tell us? That there is something terribly going wrong. And I understand it's going to be difficult to make these changes because all of us in some way are consuming these xenoestrogens in some way or the other. But with a little bit of awareness and probably trying to change one thing at a time. Plastic bottles, BPA, whether it's BPA free or it has BPA, it doesn't make a difference. There are xenoestrogens getting into your system. So can we move from plastic tiffin boxes to stainless steel tiffin boxes? Can we move from plastic bottles to carrying our own, glass bottles or stainless steel bottles or whatever it is? Every time you have your hot coffee in those cups, you should understand, why are most coffee cups not biodegradable? 95% of the coffee cups cannot be recycled because the inner lining is basically plastic. The inner lining is plastic to prevent spillage, to retain the heat, and it's got all of those chemicals in. So you have a hot liquid leaching xenoestrogens in, and we're putting it into our system thinking it's cool. You'd rather carry your own coffee mug or your own coffee sipper, which is stainless steel, go down to a coffee shop, fill it, and carry it. That's going to be good for you, the external environment and your internal environment at the same time. And then you look at toothpaste, but most people say, oh, the toothpaste with triclosan is required for antimicrobial and antibacterial effects in our mouth. There's something called gingivitis, basically. But do you know, by taking a little bit of coconut oil, a little bit of peppermint oil, and a little bit of salt water, you can make your own mouthwash at home, which is minus all the chemicals, and it will not just look after your gums, but it will also look after your teeth. These are simple things. How long does it take you to get a little bit of coconut oil, a little bit of peppermint oil to flavor it, and a little bit of salt water where you just mix rock salt with water, and you make your own little container of your mouthwash and your mouth freshener, which will take care of your mouth. That way you can switch to a toothpaste that does not contain triclosan. So from the time your child is born, we are feeding them xenoestrogens, and that's why we have one of the reasons why we have so many problems in our world. So looking after the environment is not just for the plants and the animals and the birds and the sky and the water. It is going to impact us at the end of the day. Every single decision that we make. Mayo Clinic and the American Medical Association has said there is no difference between using an antimicrobial soap or a plain soap. What's the difference? Smart marketing has made us realize that we need antimicrobial sanitizers, antimicrobial soaps, but you have two medical associations reputed globally, which is telling you that there is no difference between an antimicrobial and a normal plain soap. It's as simple as that. So we shouldn't be fooled by all this smart marketing and all this fancy packaging. The amount of cosmetics that women and men use, flip it over, it takes you a second to run through their ingredient list. And just because it's a brand, the brand is out there to make money, but the brands that work hard to make sure that these chemicals are not in are the brands that care about you. They care about your health. They care about the environment. It's time we start supporting these kinds of brands and companies that really care about people and not just money and not just branding and creating all of this valuation and all of these things. It is getting into our system. Asthma, inflammation in the gut. Some of us eat so healthy, we exercise, but yet we have these problems. Look at what we're putting into our system. Children's toys. There are toys that have labels, antimicrobial, antibacterial toys. You want to keep your kids away from those toys. Those toys have triclosan in them, which will get into your child's system through their skin. We grew up without all of these things. We played with mud, we played with dirt, we sucked our fingers after rolling around on the floor, and our immune system only got stronger and stronger. But today, despite using all of these things for our kids are getting sicker and sicker with lower immunity. You need to understand that your child's immune system and your immune system will grow stronger by being exposed to these bugs. The more antimicrobial and antibacterial products that you use, guess what? The bugs are becoming resistant to even antibiotics. It's something called antibiotic resistance, which is why the next time you go to your doctor, you'll have a new antibiotic because the first one is not going to work for you anymore because those bugs in your system have now grown resistant because you've become too clean. You become too clean by using all of these products. So please understand that estrogen dominance is a huge problem in young girls, young boys, men, women, and even adults. And a lot of the xenoestrogen is coming in from all of the products that we're using. Genetically modified food, GMO food, that is the curse of the United States of America. And that curse is now being corrected in the United States of America because people have realized that, but it is entering all the other countries which are opening up their arms to accept GMO products, refined oils, and all of these things. India was a country that basically used your own your own oils, your cold pressed oils, your wood churned oils. You used oils that were local to your own country. We didn't need oils from different countries like canola and all of these oils, which are smart marketing companies, and that's destroyed our health completely. It's time to start flipping over your products and looking for, today we're talking just about triclosan. Triclosan. If it's there on a product, you want to dump it. If you're used to heating plastic and microwaves and all of these things, I don't want to create fear, but what I'm saying today is depressing everyone, including myself. Every time you order food from a restaurant, a takeaway, just think about this. They have a plastic container. The chef takes out hot steaming food and they put it into a plastic container. Okay? Plastic and heat don't go well together no matter what grade of plastic it is. Now they cover that, okay, to conserve and retain the heat. Okay, and it probably takes you 45 minutes to an hour for the delivery guy to come over to your place with heated food contained in plastic. The amount of BPA and chemicals that are already leached is now going into your system. Some people will take that food from the delivery guy and go and put it back in their microwave to heat it again. So one is you're reheating food, two in the same plastic. So you can just think of the amount of damage that we're doing to ourselves, which is why I understand some people don't have a choice. They need to home deliver every single day. They don't know how to cook. They don't have support at home. All I'm trying to do is create this a little amount of awareness to understand what we're doing. And then we need to figure out why we're getting sicker as a nation and why we're getting sicker as a world. No matter what anyone tells you, you can go right now on Google, you can go into NCBI, you can go into PubMed, where there is medical literature which is shared to the public, and you can understand what triclosan is doing to you, your children, and everyone in your family, our communities, and our societies. If there's anyone who's going to make a change, we got to start making that change. One person at a time, by changing our own lives. Or we can sit back and use Twitter and bring down the governments and everyone around and blame everyone. By blaming, we don't fix any problem. We can only fix those problems by starting doing it ourselves, one thing at a time. Start with your toothpaste and your body washes, and then your cosmetics, and then your floor cleaners. There's a substitute for everything we're talking about today. It's all out there available. It only requires you to make that mind shift change and say, screw the brands that are taking advantage of our health. Screw the brands that are basically hiding research that humans have a right to, but only because they know it will not sell their products anymore. They spend millions and billions so that research never comes up. And only the research that works in favor for most brands comes up and is marketed to us, and we blindly believe them. This is common sense. Go back 10, 15 years ago, we didn't need all of these triclosan and sulfates and parabens in any of our products. We need them today. Why? That's what you need to think about. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and breathe deep.